Hello students, good morning. Welcome to the class. I am Yogita. Our subject is nutrition for nurses, and today we are going to discuss about protein. Yes, it's one of the very important topic which you can expect some question on protein on your exam. Now protein is one of the essential nutrient for our body. Protein it helps in growth and development of our body tissues. Now, if you see a young healthy adult, 150 of his body weight is because of this protein. Now, protein which present in almost all the tissues of our body like skin, hair, teeth, muscles, everywhere we can see this protein. So, definitely this protein is essential in maintenance, repair, growth and development of our body tissues. Now, the chemical composition of protein contains carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. Okay. Next, the classification of protein. Now, the classification of protein is mainly two types. One is based on the structure of protein. Second, based on the nutritional value of this protein. Now, the based on the structure of protein is again classified into three types: simple protein, conjugated protein and derived protein. Now, based on the structure of protein is derived into three: simple protein, conjugated protein and derived protein. Now, simple protein, they have yield only one amino acids. So, these simple proteins have only amino acids. For examples, albumin, globulin. See, these are the example for simple protein. Next is conjugated protein. Now, these proteins united with some other molecules. For example, nucleoproteins, glycoproteins, hemoglobins. These are the example for conjugated protein. Last one is derived protein. Now, derived proteins is a form of protein molecule through hydrolytic agents. For examples, they are the meat proteins, peptones and peptides. So, these are the important three types under structure we are classified this protein. Next, a protein is classified based on its nutritional value. Here we are having three types: complete protein, partially complete protein, incomplete protein. Now, complete protein means here a complete protein contain all the essential amino acid which is required for our body, and also a sufficient amount will be present, and also it will be good for digestibility. So, complete means in complete protein we are having all the essential amino acid which our body wants. Now, for example, milk, egg, milk products. Now, they are promoting in a good growth of our body tissues. Next, partially complete proteins. Now, partially complete proteins are lack of some one amino acids, essential amino acids. Now, they are helping in moderate growth. They are not helping a complete growth because there is no complete presence of essential amino acids. Partially, something will be lack, one or two will be lack. Now, they are helping in moderate body growth. Now, they are present in vegetable proteins. Now, the last one is incomplete protein. Now, incomplete protein, they are completely lack one or more essential amino acids. They do not help in growth at all because there is no amino acids. Examples like gelatin of animal source. You can see zinc in corn. So, now this is the type, classification of protein based on structure and nutritional value. Okay, the next concept what is amino acids. Now, these amino acids are building blocks of this protein. Now, the proteins are synthesized from the basic unit called amino acids. Now, these amino acids are again classified into two types: essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Now, essential amino acids that cannot be synthesized in our body, but it is required to our body. Then what we have to do? We have to supply these essential amino acids with our diet. Whatever food we are eating, that must include this amino acid so that we are able to provide that to the body. Now for some examples of essential amino acids are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysines, etc. Next is non-essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids are those that body can be synthesized. Now for example, alanine, arginine, asparagine, cysteine, glutamic acid, etc. See, this is what called type of amino acids. Amino acids has got two type. One is essential and non-essential amino acids. Now, if you see the biological value of protein, this protein is high biological value in animal sources and low biological value in plant sources. Next, the sources of proteins. From where we will get proteins? Which food item contain much of proteins? Now, the rich source of protein is milk, milk product, fish, liver, meat, cheese and nuts, soya bean. These are the rich sources of protein. The moderate source of proteins are cereals, millets, legumes, green peas. Then the very poor source of proteins are roots, tubers and green leafy vegetables. So these are the important three sources of proteins: rich sources, moderate sources and poor sources of protein. Now let us see what are the important functions of protein. You have to write this answer. The functions of protein. The very important function of protein is protein helps in growth and development of a body tissue. Now most of a body tissue internal parts are made up of protein like muscles, hair, teeth, skeleton, tendons, skin, everything. Now the protein helps us to repair and do the maintenance and growth and development of a body tissue. Protein act as a antibodies so that it helps to help the body to fight against certain diseases. Protein act as a transport. Now protein help to transport the nutrient in our body like hemoglobin. It helps us to transfer oxygen. Now protein help to maintain the acid base balance in our body. Also protein is essential to maintain the fluid electrolyte balance in our body. Protein also helps to store the iron and copper in our body. So for all these functions, all these requirements, we want protein in our body. Also protein help to regulate the hormone process. It helps to maintain the normal hormone process in our body. So it also contribute in energy. That means 1 gram of protein will give 4 kilocalorie of energy. See, when you don't take carbohydrates, you are taking protein. Now protein also synthesized and protein also undergone for a breakdown, and that provide a energy to our body. To do the work, protein gives the energy to our body. So 1 gram of protein will provide 4 kilocalorie of energy. So these all are the important functions of protein. Now the digestion of this protein. The digestion of protein is take place in the GI system. Once we eat the food, now this food enter into the stomach and here the digestion of protein will take place. Now here in stomach we can see that now here in the stomach, when pepsinogen is converted into pepsin by the action of hydrochloric acid and continued by trypsin and chymotrypsin in the small intestine. Whereas in small intestine, this is breakdown into amino acid and absorbed. Now absorption will take place in small intestine where it is quickly absorbed as a form of amino acids. Then the storage, when it is quickly absorbed in the intestine, it absorbed to the blood and it transport to the different various part of a body so that it can meet the energy requirement of particular body tissues. Now next is, see how much protein is required for an individual. See, we learned we are getting a different protein from different sources. Now how much protein is required for an individual adult? The requirement of protein for a man is 60 gram per day. and for the woman it is 50 gram per day. But in case of woman, if the mother is lactating mother or she is pregnant or she is a after delivery postpartum mother, in that case she want 15 to 20% extra in addition to the daily requirement. If it is 50, she want 160, 65, 70 gram per day. Now in case of small children, they want 2.05, like infancy they want 2.05 to 1.65 per kg body. Then small children like 1 to 10 years, they want 20 to 40 gram per day. Then even for the boys it varies. Even for the boys and girls, based on their height, age and activity what they are doing, the protein requirement varies from 50 to 60 gram per day. So these are the important dietary requirement of protein per day. Now you are taking protein, you are meeting your body requirements, body needs, so you will be healthy. What happens in case if you are not eating protein properly? Now if you don't eat protein properly, then that may lead to a disease, deficiency disorder. Or in case if you are eating more than what is your body required, that leads to overconsumption. So when the children do not take the protein, we can see a deficiency disorder, protein energy malnutrition. Now protein energy malnutrition means where the children or mainly we can see in the children, they are not taking a protein in sufficient amount in their diet, so that their body is not able to meet the requirement. Now here two extreme conditions what we can study is kwashiorkor and marasmus. I request dear students, please follow the previous video. In detail we discussed about PEM, protein energy malnutrition. Now kwashiorkor is a condition where we can see between 1 to 5 years of children, where it is mainly because of deficiency of their food which present in the protein. There is no sufficient protein in their food. It may be because of poverty, mother may be busy, mother may be very poor, they are not able to afford for the food, lack of knowledge, maybe back to back she got a children, 4 children. Because of that she is not able to concentrate on the other children. Maybe baby is very small, 2 or 3 years old, and the mother is again conceived. Now because of all this, there is a chance that baby may not meet with the protein requirement. Now here we can have a symptoms like baby will have edema, potty belly, pot belly, fatty liver, skin lesions, anorexia and hypoalbuminemia. So this all can be seen with the kwashiorkor. Next condition is marasmus, where marasmus can be seen in the children less than 1 year of age. Here mainly we can see a baby will be muscle wasting, baby will be so skeleton, like a skeleton is wrapped in the skin, like that we can feel. We can have symptoms like baby will have weakness, anemia, diarrhea, extreme muscle weakness. See, a main difference is kwashiorkor where baby looks like little fat, edema will be there, distant abdomen will be there. But in marasmus, baby looks very weak, very skin will be very, baby doesn't look like that. See, small baby should look like a cute babies. They don't look like that. So this is one of the important to extreme conditions what we can notice in deficiency of protein, kwashiorkor and marasmus. Now what happens in case if you eat more amount of protein in your diet? Now we want all kind of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, everything we want, but in case if you are taking over protein, that leads to over consumption of protein. Now here it will be a burden to your kidney and liver. There is a chances that you may end up with kidney and liver failure. Chances are more, one who is consuming more protein, they may develop with the kidney stones. Chances are there, one who is eating more protein, they are developing a kidney, a renal insufficiency. Also, if you consume high protein in your diet, there is a chance that you may develop osteoporosis, colon cancer or prostate cancer. This can happen only when you take protein excessively in your diet. That's the reason the main way to treat this overconsumption and deficiency disorder is that you eat the protein in the required balanced amount in your diet. Educate the mother that how much protein requirement for a children and give that protein supplement food to them. Sometimes parents, caretaker may not aware about the sources of protein. We are having rich, moderate, poor sources of protein. They may be feeding the baby with all kind of vegetables. Vegetable have very poor source of protein. They don't know that milk and milk contain ghee, that will contain more protein. So we need to educate them so that we are able to control this problem. In case of overconsumption, you tell them that which food they are eating more, because of that they are having this problem. We need to make a moderate and balanced diet chart to them. So this is overall about your protein. I hope you understood. Please go back to the video once again and listen, make some notes so that you are able to answer to this question. You can expect question on protein, like protein, type of protein, classification of protein, sources of protein, then deficiency disorder of protein, digestion, absorption of protein, and how you can manage its protein energy malnutrition disorders. I hope you understood. I request students, please go back, listen the video once again, read some notes, read some books so that you will be okay with the topic protein and you can do well in your exams. I request you, please keep watching. I'll meet you in the next class with a new concept. Thank you all.